Welcome to Entrepreneurs Lounge, the show that highlights success stories of young entrepreneurs who are making it in various spheres. Missed me? Well, guess what? I missed you too. It has been a while. It's been a very, very long time since I brought you fresh, exciting episodes, but you should be excited because I was in the kitchen. I have a very big lineup of amazing entrepreneurs this year. And to get right into the show, my very first guest is one I'm excited about, and she's none other than Brigitta, I beg your pardon. She's none other than Brigitta Nyawira, and she's the founder of a premium travel company, Mint Safari. You're very welcome to the show, Brigitta.
Thank you, Ingrid.
You're the first guest of the year.
Oh, what a privilege. I'm honored.
I'm more excited than you.
Thank you for having me.
I'm excited to hear your story. So Mint Safari, the one thing that caught my attention is premium travel company. You're bougie.
Well, we're trying.
What does it mean? What do you do? What's Mint Safari? And when you say premium, how are you different from all the other travel companies that we have in the market right now?
Okay, so Mint Safari is a premium travel company, and what that means is that we deal with premium locations. We actually like to call them mint destinations, and we actually only focus in Kenya at the moment. So our core business is actually around taking the local traveler in Kenya to premium destinations in Kenya. You realize that a lot of us have been sold to the same locations over and over again. The travel market in Kenya is full of budget packages and things that you've done over and over again. So what we're trying to do different at Mint is to tell you as the local traveler that, hey, there are a lot of other places that you may not know about or that maybe you think are too expensive for you. But if you plan your travel properly, if you're working with the right agent like us, then you're able to access these premium destinations in Kenya.
But even as we talk about premium destinations, Brigitta, what are we talking about? Because you say like people are so used to going to the normal destinations, whereas if you tell me as a local Kenyan traveler, I'll say I've been to Masai Mara, and in my opinion, I feel like that's premium. So when we're talking about this premium category, what are some of the destinations we're looking at?
I think we can look at premium in two ways. First, from a price point in terms of how much you're actually paying to spend a night there, and also from the level of service that you actually get where you go. Premium does not necessarily have to be expensive. It could just be, it's a location that's offering you a different kind of experience. So off the top of my mind, some of the premium locations that we work with, say in Diani, for example, we have Almanara. In the Mara, it could be, Mara is in itself is a wonderful destination, yes, but don't go to the same old places in the Mara. I don't want to mention names, but think of places like Mahali Mzuri, stay at Batalua Camp and places like that where you're guaranteed that you're going to have a premium experience. And premium to me is down to the level, down to the minor details. By the time you're checking in, they know your name, they know what you like, what you don't like, what kind of food you want to eat, what kind of food you don't want to eat. It's such a personalized experience. You actually feel like you've gone on a holiday. And that's what premium service to us is all about.
And I like that you placed emphasis on the fact that it doesn't exactly have to be about the price. So when you're talking about this premium experience, who are you looking at in terms of, you mentioned it has to be the local Kenyan because that's what you're focusing on. But in terms of a price point, in terms of your target clientele, who are we talking about?
Target clientele is we have two markets, I'd like to call them that. And the first one is the traveler that has had some level of exposure in traveling around Kenya, but they're now becoming a bit more discerning and they're interested in something that's a bit different, a bit more premium. They've gone to the usual places and now they're hungry for something new and different, but maybe they don't know where to get it, or they don't know if they can be able to afford such a location. So that's one, someone who's been traveling and is now hungry for something new. The other person that we're looking at is the person who's already exposed to premium locations, and what we're telling them is that, hey, Mint Safari is here. You can trust us with your holidays, and we're going to deliver an optimum service for you. Yeah.
So you mentioned that with the whole premium safari experience, you came up with this because you were tired of the whole people going to the normal destination. So how long has Mint Safari been in existence, and why? Why did you decide to do this? Was it because, you love to travel and you are so bored of doing the normal things every day? How did this idea come to you?
So this is our second year now. We've been around since September 2018. And the reason why I formed Mint Safari was based on my own personal experiences. I love to travel. I've always loved to travel for as long as I can remember when I was small. I tried to get into the travel business in campus. I wanted to do a degree in tourism, but my folks were like, no, let's just do business administration. Let's play it safe. And if you find your way into tourism, well and good. So that dream ended there. Further along, I tried to get employment with the airlines. I wanted to be a flight attendant, just because I thought it was so prestigious to just always be traveling all over the place. That didn't work. Between my height and my poor eyesight, that dream also just went into thin air. But it didn't stop there. It didn't stop me from pursuing my interest in travel. So I'd planned my own trips for my family, for my friends. And in doing that, I really got to learn a lot about the travel industry in Kenya. I'd know which are the good places to go, the right times to travel, how to get good rates from the hotel, how to get the discounts. I just had all this information, but I was just using it for my own holidays and planning, trips for the family. But the more I traveled, the more I wanted to have a better experience. I went to the big hotels where, you have to wait for your eggs, and the bacon runs out in the middle of breakfast, and we all want that bacon. You have to wait. I've had the experiences of staying in a big hotel and gotten food poisoning because, everything is just being churned out of the kitchen. And I felt frustrated. I felt like surely there has to be a better way to travel. And I became more deliberate about finding the locations that I wanted to visit. I did a lot of research. I'd go online on their website, TripAdvisor, everything, read blogs about it, just so that I had a very good picture of, the kind of location I was actually going to visit. So I started becoming more selective. Now I was not doing the big hotels anymore. I was doing the smaller lodges, the, luxury villas. And don't get me wrong in terms of that I was spending a bagload of money on this. No, it was all just coming down to proper planning and being able to time these locations when their rates are at the bottom. So I figured that I started enjoying that experience of the smaller lodges. You check in, you find they've written you a handwritten note, very small details.
Personal.
Yeah, it's so personal. They know your family, all of you by name, and they know that Mzee doesn't like this. They have you. It's so personal, and I liked that kind of experience. And the sad thing was that I'd find that I'd go to a lot of these places and they'd be empty. Why? Because people were either did not know about them, or because people just choose to travel at the wrong time. So we'd go to, a place like Naivasha Chui Lodge, and you're the only guest there for 3 nights. I mean, it's fantastic because then you're lavished with all this attention. Yeah. But then the question was, why aren't more people coming to these locations? So based on that, my frustration with mass locations and the fact that I was able to find these small, unique destinations that were so personalized, I wanted to create a company that was going to enable more Kenyans to experience this kind of holidays. I think a holiday should be something that you take and you come back feeling happy, relaxed. Sometimes you go on a holiday and it's so stressful. The place is so crowded. You don't even have a good experience, and then you come back home feeling cheated and like you just didn't get value for your money. So I realized that there was a gap in the market in that a lot of the mainstream agencies only sell the mass locations, the big hotels. Granted, they have their own pluses and all, but nobody was really deliberately selling small niche locations that to the Kenyan market. They're sold to the foreign international market, but not to the local traveler. And so that's how I was able to hone in on, fine, let's create a company that's going to sell premium destinations to the local market. And over and above that, let's create customized itineraries for the guests. Let's not sell a mass package where we're saying Naivasha 3 nights, X amount of money, because then really you're just selling a price point, isn't it?
Right.
So, yeah, and that's how Mint came to.
And Brigitta, I'm so sure, because we see, that's why we have so many tour agencies. There's so many people in the country, even out of the country, who love to travel. And I'm so sure as well, there's so many people who share in those exact thoughts that you said. There are people who travel a lot and obviously share in that same experience that you've just explained. So 2 years in of Mint Safari, what would you say the reception has been like?
It's been a mixed bag, let me call it that. There are those who are very happy that, oh my goodness, you can actually create an itinerary for me from scratch, and that you're actually going to take me somewhere that I have not been, because that's a challenge that I always throw to my guests. Tell me where you've been, and I can guarantee you, even if you're just going to Naivasha or Nanyuki or the locations that a lot of us frequent during the weekends, I will take you somewhere that you have not been, and you're going to get a premium experience. So there are those who are very happy and they're walking the journey with us. But on the other hand, I feel like we need to do a little bit more in terms of changing perception around travel, because what a lot of us know is budget travel. And, a lot of people come to us with, okay, so what are your packages? And we have to start that conversation of, we don't do prepackaged holidays, we create something specifically for you. And, we take the time to explain why we are different and why we don't have packages on our website, for example. So the reception has been, it's mixed. People, there are those who really, really like it, and there are those who just want to see a price. So if you're not giving me a package, just, okay, thanks.
So you kept mentioning, oh, I'll come up with an itinerary for you for what to do, or I'll come up with a package for you. But when I approach as a traveler, a local traveler who's keen on, just going to something different, and I approach Mint Safari, what extra value am I going to get besides, okay, you're going to give me a list of this is what I'm going to do. What else? In short, what I'm asking is, what exactly do you offer me from when I walk in to the point that I go to my trip? Why should I consider you?
Okay. The first thing we do when you get in touch with us is we assign you a personal holiday planner. We like to call them personal holiday planners because that's the person who's going to work with you from the beginning of from the start of your interaction with us all the way to the end. And their role is really to make sure that they get to understand what your holiday preferences are so that they can create an itinerary that works for you. So they take a lot of time on phone or even in person to understand where have you been before, what did you like, what didn't you like, what kind of activities do you enjoy doing, do you just want to lounge by a pool the whole day, do you want us to give you a driver, all those really nitty-gritty details. So we take actually about, our consultations stretch up to 20-30 minutes. We break it into different sections so that we can really be able to understand what are you looking for.
So you custom make the experience?
Yes, we custom make the experience. And based on that, the information that you give us and our knowledge of the market, we create for you an itinerary. And when we send you our quote, first it's not going to be a price list. What a lot of people do when they're shopping around for travel, they visit a lot of websites. Of course, I think the average is about maybe 45 to 60 websites per person. And that, yes, and even when you get a quote from a travel company, you'll still go back and do your own research and all that stuff. So we understand that there's a lot of choice now, there's a lot of information out there, and what we're trying to do is save you time. So based on the conversation that we have, we give you a very short list. We're not going to send you 20 locations for you to look at, because then that beats the purpose of you working with us. So we give you a very curated list that speaks to exactly what you have told us you're looking for. Once that's done, then we do the bookings for you, and it doesn't end there. We make sure that on the day before you travel or some days before you travel, we actually send you an information pack. And this information pack contains important things that you would spend time doing yourself if you're a keen traveler, like what's the weather going to be like, should you expect any interruptions on the road, just little snippets of information that really make you prepared for the trip you're about to take. And over and above that, even after you check in, we check in on you. Even after you've arrived at the hotel, we make sure that we have spoken to the hotel. They know all the details. They have all your details, and so they're ready. They're prepared for you. There are no surprises. And if there are any surprises, we are quick to act and make sure that is addressed. After your trip, we speak to you again to understand how did it go, did it work. Are you happy? If you're not happy, the feedback that you give us, we also channel that back to the hotels and the lodges so they can also be able to improve on their experiences. And that information also helps us to make sure that your next trip with us is just that much better.
But Brigitta, I'm really keen on understanding how you drive awareness towards your business, and especially because you mentioned that when someone is shopping around for a trip or an adventure, they look at 45 to 60 websites. There's obviously competition out there, even in the local market. You would almost say it's saturated. There's so many tour and travel agencies. So in terms of sourcing your clientele, in terms of PR, in terms of advertising, or just driving awareness, what do you do as Mint Safari?
We are primarily using social media, and I would say Instagram is our biggest channel. It's amazing the level of trust that consumers of social media place on the pages and the people that they follow online. So we use Instagram, and we're also online on our website. But I would say the biggest source of our business is actually referrals. That accounts for about 80-90% of our business. A happy customer will bring us another one, and they'll keep coming back. So social media, yes, but referrals more than anything is what is driving our business.
What have been some of the greatest challenges or bottlenecks you've experienced? Whether it's at inception, along the journey, even today, what are some of your greatest challenges in running your business?
From a business perspective, I think the fact that we have chosen not to be everything to everyone. We are very particular about what we do, that we are focusing on the local traveler, number one, and premium destinations, and we do not compromise on that. I will get requests around, someone will ask to go to a hotel that I know is not going to deliver the kind of experience that we want to drive, and I take it, personally to advise the guest and just leave them better informed about the decision to stay there or not to stay there. So choosing not to do everything for everyone. If we are premium, we're premium. If we get budget requests, we'll just politely decline or advise you better so that you can be able to have the kind of experience that you deserve. I think as an entrepreneur, time management has been, it's something that you have to keep refining every single day, because you realize that there's a lot that needs to be done. So yes, fine, I had all this information and knowledge about travel and where to go and the seasons and all that, but when it comes to running a business, it's a whole different ballgame. You realize that you have to understand something about marketing, about tax, about legal, about so many other things that you hadn't really thought about. So finding the time or organizing my time in such a way that I can be able to give everything the attention that it deserves and do it properly, that to me is something that I am still perfecting.
So with that said, do you then feel that there's certain things that you know now that if you knew then you'd do differently? Right from the beginning when you were starting, what are some of your regrets and what would you do differently in terms of maybe setting your business model? What would you change, if anything?
I think I would get more help from the beginning. I would talk to more people to understand, okay, so what's the best approach to social media marketing, for example, because that would have reduced my learning curve. I found myself in the earlier days trying to understand things like Instagram, because it's not something that I was consuming on a daily basis. So understanding how to use it for business is, like every day online, just researching and reading and trying to just understand how it works. And I think while that is important, to understand all elements of your business, you don't need to become an expert in everything that you're doing. Create the strategy, own the strategy, drive the strategy, but find people to work with who are going to be able to execute the things that you don't really need to be an expert on. I don't need to be an expert on Instagram. I need to understand how it works and how I can use it to drive my business, but can I get somebody to help me to just run that part of the business? So I think I would have gotten more help. I think the first year was like a marathon, doing crazy hours, trying to do everything, and it's impossible. You burn out, you drop balls left, right, center. So I'd get more help at the beginning, I think.
So locally, we're seeing, a good number of the travel and tour agencies or companies focus on international trips. We're seeing them come up with group trips of maybe Asia, Europe. There's a lot of focus there. And if you have a conversation, because I've tried to have a conversation with some of them, they'll say because there's a lot of money there. What are your 2 cents on that, and maybe the plan to go global? Is there a plan for that? Or your content is one of those, I don't want to be a jack of all trades and master of none. What would you say about that?
I think you've just said it, that you can't be a master of all trades. And I don't want to be the person that is selling you something that I've seen, that has also been sold to me online. I think one of the greatest values that we give our customers is that we sell what we know. If you're interested in a location that we haven't been to, we'll even do a recce for you, if that's what, just so that we know that we are confident about what we are selling to you. So yes, there's been a lot of focus on international travel, but I think there are those people who tend to think that, why should I spend so much money in Kenya going to set a premium location where I can spend half of this money and go to Asia and go to a different country? I think once you experience a premium location in Kenya, you realize that there's so much, it's such a totally different experience. And I don't want to think about, venturing out into international markets for now. I just want to focus on Kenya and be an expert on Kenya, because there are a lot of premium locations, a lot of uncommon areas. There's a lot that we can sell in Kenya that has yet to be tapped, especially for the local market. The international market knows Kenya very well, right, and they go to the best places in Kenya. But the local traveler doesn't, because they're sold to the same all locations time and time again. So I'm content to focus on Kenya for now to perfect it, and then maybe with time cross over to the rest of Africa, because again, Africa in itself presents a very big market for travel before even going to the Asias and whatnot.
So Brigitta, with that then, what's the long-term plan for Mean Safari? We're clearly not looking at the international market yet. So what's the dream?
We're looking at Africa. I want in the next 10 years or so to be
like so for home.
Yeah, it's perfect. And I mean, I want to be a premium travel brand recognized across Africa. I want to help Kenya, for example, to do away with low season. Because you know, there are times when locations actually close because there are no guests. And it's not because anything has changed, it's just because people are not well informed about when they should go, where they should go. We all travel at the same time. Christmas, Easter, that's it. And you know, the hotels, they suffer, they struggle. Their employees are actually sent home during this time. So let's eliminate low season, number one, and then let's build a premium travel brand that's going to be recognized across Africa.
From where I'm seated, you're really doing a very great job in contributing to the growth of the tourism industry in this country. And I really wish you all the best. We have to go for a quick break, but don't go anywhere because we have so much more for you right here on Entrepreneurs Lounge. We'll be right back.